Drum rolls, please. Alright, love, and welcome. Yes, there's an election coming up, apparently. So I thought I would kind of do something to simulate that. By which I mean play a video game about it. Democracy 3. It's been around a little bit. There are some mods for it also, which I have installed, which kind of apparently expand the experience. So I think social engineering and extremism, and everyone loves a bit of extremism. That really works, doesn't it? Nothing like getting the blood pumping and people to the voting booths under duress. Nothing like a bit of extremism. Yeah, so it is, I say, slightly complicated, but once you get the hang of it, relatively straightforward. As me personally, I know absolutely nothing about politics. And I was kind of part of the reason I wanted to play this is I thought it might help find out where I do actually sit. Obviously, like these days, the arseholes will say absolutely anything to get in. I don't think ever before has there been, you know, like, have the lines been blurred quite as much as they are these days. No one dares stick their head above the parapet and actually say what they really think or have any kind of balls. So, come on, you know, it's like, anyway, so yeah, real politics, a bit of a bust, but I thought if I can play a game about it, maybe I'll kind of learn something, possibly, I don't know, maybe, and it might get quite entertaining, hopefully. I don't know, it's for a game based on like charts and graphs and quite, you know, I think that's the kind of the point, really. Politics isn't, that's the problem that a lot of countries face, certainly here, trying to get people to engage in the electoral process. Why the fuck should I vote? You're all, as I've said, like, you know, you're all the same arseholes, paying for your moats and your duck houses, you bastards. Tell us what you really think, answer a question and all that. But yeah, so yeah, without further ado, we shall move on. There's all these various. I thought it was more countries than this, but there's only those few, and obviously the best one, United Kingdom. I'm pretty certain that National Front. Jesus, what are you just? They giving me a fucking bad name. National Front. Oh, the National Front. Yeah, what do we stand for? Gripping penises and rubbing them vigorously together. No, we're not. As you may have seen from the political broadcast, it's easy for me to say, I figured the late to the party. It made me chuckle. I was trying to think of a horrific pun, some horrible dad joke that we could put in, but, you know, there's not really a hell of a lot that immediately sprung to mind, but this did the other day. Say late to the party, it's seeing as the minute I start doing something fairly serious, like putting some actual effort and work into making a YouTube channel, there's no money in it. It's kind of the bubbles burst. Everyone that's kind of in a position is in a position already because they know somebody or they're absurdly talented, and it's kind of a fairly saturated market. And most of those people have all fucked off onto Twitch. So late to the party made me chuckle, or late to the party, I don't know, however you want to say it, like that, makes sense. Late to the party. I'm pretty sure it's 5 years between general elections. I may be wrong. I think 4 is the States, isn't it, and 3, I don't know, maybe somewhere. Opposition party, it can't really be anybody apart from the Conservatives, can it? Because good God, does anyone actually like them? I don't know. They seem to be... They're the only entity in the sense that all the other ones are non-entities because you can't really find anything to hate about them particularly. They're just like, eh. So yeah, we'll have the monarchy on purely because I've really got nothing against it and it's good for the tourists, isn't it? And often Prince Philip makes a humorous, accidentally on purpose, racist remark. Do we really have hurricanes? We have had one, so we'll tick that. I don't know, I didn't have it in the practice playthrough. I believe I ticked it, but we didn't have one. Earthquakes, less likely. We have had them, but they're quite small. I don't really think... The hurricane, I think, is more likely. I'll leave earthquake. Oh, fuck it, we'll tick it. Compulsory voting, it isn't compulsory, is it, to vote? So we'll leave that. Difficulty I didn't change, and it was still quite challenging, so we'll leave it on that. I've no idea what these means. I would have thought apathy is more than that, to be honest. Maybe we should drop it a little bit. Yeah, maybe drop it to 30. Oh, does that mean it's 30% apathetic or 30%? Oh, I don't know. I'll leave it at 40. I'll leave it where it was. Excellent. Let's fucking play. So yeah, we go in. The game begins. You've won the general election. Music changes, thank God. Yay! 63 million people. Excellent. So yeah, so it gives you... I'm pretty certain I said to randomise it. So it gives you a random amount of problems that you then have to deal with in your term of office. And obviously, if you fuck up, after 5 years, you're out on your ear. Excellent. So as we can see, unemployment, not very good. GDP, in the fucking toilet. It was, health doesn't look too bad. Education, less than half. Bit of a worry. So here we are. This, I'll move it out the... Oh god, yeah. The minute you hover over anything, you get all these terribly scary lines and graphs. Basically, what it amounts to, this bit in the middle, as I've already done the tutorial, I'll try and sort of whittle it down to the key points. All this bit in the middle is who is happy with you. So the greener, the better. So obviously, as it stands, without even doing anything, environmentalists and retired fucking love us. Excellent. Capitalists, the middle income, trade unionists, slightly less so. So God knows what our election policies were. Who knows? Oh, yeah, obviously the problems are slightly different than they were before, which is good. Per turn, we get 287 billion. I think a turn is a quarter, so I think it's a quarter of a year. So we've got like, what's that then? Shit. 4 times, yeah, 20. We've got 20 turns for the election, as benefited by this little clock thing here in the bar in the middle. That's what we're making, that's what's going out. So yeah, we're in a surplus, which is good. So if we do nothing at the minute, we're going to start chipping into that national debt, which is good. If we can clear that, balance the books, we'll be happy. Obviously, all these things are various categories of what affects your policies and all that sort of thing. So we've got foreign policy, welfare, the economy, tax, public services, law and order, and transport. And all these things individually. Blue things, if I remember rightly, are things you can't do anything about. But say, for example, what one was this? Car usage. Click on that. It shows you, obviously, where it drops. Less people are using cars. It's obviously stayed pretty solid for the last bit. Obviously, if it goes up, more people using cars. And then obviously you've got the causes. What causes people? So that's what causes less. If it's red, that's dropping it. Obviously, if it's green, that's encouraging it. So obviously, like tax on petrol, having a more efficient rail and bus thing will reduce the amount of car usage. Obviously, building more roads and people being being more productive, the country being a more productive place. Obviously, somehow increases. You want to drive a car? I don't know. We go and hang bunting out, bib your horn, and show how wonderful the country is. Obviously, and then obviously the effects of the car usage. You know, all these things it's affecting positively. It doesn't mean that they're positive things, but it's obviously affecting the environment negatively, but infecting all these things positively. Does that kind of make sense? It took me a little while to get the hang of it. But there's all these things. White things are sort of policies, so they're things you can actually click on. What's this one? Border controls. So you can change these just with this little slider at the bottom, but obviously it costs you these things, the fist, 25 fistings. No, it doesn't, I'm joking. That's political capital, I believe they call it. So basically, the higher it is, the tougher it is to actually get that thing in. So you can only implement so many policies per quarter before, you know, and obviously if you any points you don't use, you can carry over, so that it means that you can implement bigger policies further down the line. So something like this, it shows you how popular border controls are with voters. Not particularly. I'm pretty sure people are a bit worried about border popularity. Like, I'm assuming. Oh no, does that mean? Oh no, okay, that's how popular they are with borders with the voters. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Obviously, patriots love a bit of border control. All these UKIP fuckers that are all like, and the Mail, like, oh, it's foreigners' faults, kick them out. They love a bit of that. Liberals, obviously less so. It obviously decreases immigration if you've got tight border controls. Ethnic minorities obviously don't like it. And for some reason, tourists don't like border. Oh, I suppose, yeah, you've got to queue up with your passport and all that shit. But obviously here, at the bottom is your little slider. And as it says there, it's the intensity of the policy. So at the minute it's biometric checks. I couldn't actually tell you what a biometric check. I've got no idea. As far as I know, they just look at your passport, don't they, at borders? They don't want your fingerprints at this point. Well, they don't here. Pretty sure they don't. Obviously, the further you push it up, armed guards. I thought there's armed guards at borders anyway, isn't there? I don't know. Obviously, full up to retina scans. Obviously, as you can see, as you move the slider, it affects everything differently. So obviously, retina scans, patriots fucking love that shit. But obviously, it's reducing immigration quite a lot. And everyone else hates it because everyone with eyes is put out at having to have them scanned. And obviously, as you adjust it, it changes the cost to the country at the bottom there. Obviously, if it's something like a tax, you can get income off of it. So that's a good thing. But at the moment, we don't want to do anything to that. Sorry, Anthony. We'll leave you to it. So obviously, we want to look here, first of all, at the fucking big problems that we've got in the country, which are randomised, I believe, every time. And it shows you these are the big issues you have to deal with and try and make a dent. If you can make a dent in them or clear a few up, by the time you're elected again, you've got something to brag about. It's going to be Billy Big Bollocks. Yes, there are now no lungs in anyone in the country. No, anyway, it's an asthma epidemic. And obviously when you hover over this, it gives you these little arrows here. So, car usage is affecting positively the asthma epidemic. And that, which sounds weird, but it basically means it's making more people asthmatic. The fact that there is an asthma epidemic, as shown by the red line to the parents, is pissing parents off because kids have got asthma. The environment is that right? I'm trying to work out if car usage is actually a good thing for the asthma epidemic or not. I wouldn't have thought it would be. And obviously the asthma epidemic there is influencing productivity because people have got asthma, I'm guessing. Is that right? I don't know. Something like that. But anyway, so it kind of shows you what you've then got. So if you then hover over the environment, you can look at the environment and see, so what do we need to do? It's to say measures air quality, pollution, and all that kind of shit. So we need to get this shit. I think that needs to come. Does the environment need to come down? I don't know. Or does it need to go up? I don't know. So that's the slightly confusing thing at the start. And say I'm doing the worst. It seemed really intuitive and like, oh yeah, cool. When I was playing it, now I've actually got to explain it to somebody. It's very confusing. But yeah, so there we go. That's pretty much it to start with. You can get all your that's your security report. See if anyone actually wants to shoot you or you've got any looming terrorist things. Opinion polls. I never looked at them previously and I doubt I will this time round. Obviously, if you look at the finances, the budget and everything, we're sort of not in the black, but we've got a surplus, so that's good. It's a good start. And you've got your implement new policies and the rest of it that's just your achievements and fuck knows what. But yeah, so basically we seem to have a problem with organised crime. Good God, alcohol abuse. Fucking hell. Asthma. What's this? Homelessness? Uncompetitive economy. Brilliant. And what's this? A technology backwater. Shit. So yeah, obviously we're not at the cutting edge of anything technology wise. So these are things that we need to change. You would think first of all, see, it's like but then it's bewildering. It's what are people actually, organised crime. Fair enough, they're arseholes, we get that, but what is affecting organised crime? Do I go with that? Do I tackle the booze? Because it makes sense to sort of try and make a bit of a dent in one before you press on. Excuse me. So, yeah, organised crime is influencing crime and violent crime. It's been negatively affected, so reduced by our intelligence services. And what's narcotics doing? What's the black line? I don't think I've ever seen a black line. Maybe that just, I don't know. So, yeah, so it's basically, what do we do? Yeah, so if you do, you can move your slider. At present we can only legalise cannabis. Excellent, if we wanted to, because that's as much as we've got in the sense of political capital. I don't even think we can do that. Yes, we can. And obviously that negatively affects. It pisses the Conservatives off, and parents, and liberals. Does it piss liberals off? You'd have thought liberals would love that shit. I don't know. Anyway, all that kind of deal. Booze. See. Here we go. This makes a little bit more sense. See, there we go. That's sort of. There's a start trigger here. So basically, once the usage drop goes above that, boom, we've got an alcohol problem. We need to get this thing here, this line, to drop below the stop trigger, the green line. So basically, we need to cane the fuck out of booze to stop people drinking, and therefore make everybody healthier, which is obviously a good thing. There's not a wild amount I don't think we can do about. Obviously, GDP and like the economy and everything. Fucking hell, you need some money coming in. You need the country to be a nice place to live in. That does help, and everyone to be nice and happy and productive. But yeah, so anyway, you can if you can skip all those little white nodules on there and just come down to here, and it shows you all the little public services, say tax, economy, welfare, foreign policy, all these little things that you can implement. Oh, you bring back national service, good lord. Yeah, so you can do all these kind of things, and obviously you've only got so many points to spend, and it shows you how long it takes to implement it. A quarter, not that long, for example, for this. How much of your capital? We have 25 and it takes 24. It obviously gives you costs, and some things have incomes. Obviously tax will all be something of an income. Most of the others won't be, unless it gives you like a boost to tourism or something like that. So we kind of have a choice. We can only do so much each turn. And it's like, so law and order, for example, obviously we need to make a dent on that, so it makes sense to maybe have a look at this. So you can obviously have armed police bring back the death penalty, fucking have a Guantanamo Bay in England somewhere if you really want. I thought quite gambling, you can make gambling legal. I thought gambling was a thing already, unless they mean like the super casinos and all that shit. But yeah, something like this, I'm sort of, in a way, sort of a fan of that. Not of but making it a protected sort of deal. Like, surely if it's legal, then you can somehow kind of, the conditions would improve, wouldn't they? Or you've got, you know what I mean? It would take, if you take it away from the pimps and the arseholes and put it in the control of whoever wants to sell, it is obviously the oldest profession. See, severe decline in family values. Would it? Everyone likes a bang. We wouldn't be here without it, would we? But so yeah, it's better for society prostitutes that the practice is regulated and monitored rather than criminalised. See, I'm sort of with that. So, in a bold step, imagine that maybe this was like our flagship policy that got us that got us elected. It's like, yeah, vote for us and we'll legalise prostitution. So yeah, if you look at the slider with this one, it doesn't cost us anything, which is a good thing. So it's how intense, whether we want maximum prostitution or whether we want to drop it to none prostitution. I don't really quite understand that. It's basically how much you want to piss the Conservatives and the religious off, let's be honest. I love that it positively affects GDP. I think that's brilliant. I never noticed that. Excellent. Everyone is feeling much more relaxed. We've got, the whores. I don't know. Is whore an offensive term? I don't know. Prostitutes. We will say prostitutes, as that's the term. Whore sounds a little bit harsh. Visit on Whore Island. Maybe we could turn the Isle of Wight into a whore colony. Would that be? Oh, shut up, Dave. Anyway, yeah. Supply changes. There we go. We've legalised prostitution. We have no. Excellent. It's a bold first step. And hopefully a good step on negatively affecting. Oh, what's the little icon? Is there a thing for prostitution? Tell me there is. Oh, it's a heart with money in it. Oh, you can purchase love. That's the logo for that. Excellent. Okay. Well, there we go. There's not much now that we can do this turn. So, next, skip on.